Daniel Negreanu was looking down on pocket sevens. Pre-flop. This is one of those old-school tension spots where everyone at the table knows something big is brewing before the cards even hit the felt. Hellmuth opens to 900 with whatever he has,
Go on, Phil.
doing his usual, I'm supposed to win every pot routine. That small raise size in a deep cash game invites action, and Negreanu obliges by re-raising to 3,200 with pocket sevens. For Negreanu, this is a classic squeeze hand. He is on the lighter end of a value range, but against Phil's wide open and the dead money in the middle, sevens play nicely as a pressure tool, strong enough to call a 4-bet if it is small, but also perfect for picking up the pot uncontested a lot of the time. Then Doyle wakes up behind them with pocket jacks and makes it 11,700. That sizing is important. It is big enough to say, I am not messing around, but not so big that it shuts the hand down. From Doyle's point of view, jacks are way too good to just call and risk letting Hellmuth or others peel cheap.
Good chance you'll get it all, buddy.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. I'm just counting it up here. You got 80. It's 85 more.
He wants to isolate Negreanu, punish the lighter 3-bet, and take control of the pot with position.
Okay, I'll raise it.
There goes Doyle. He's all in.
Once or twice, Doyle.
Daniel calls.
It's up to you.
I'll do twice.
What is 37-2?
37-2 each? Is that what you got, 37-2?
Are you paired?
Yeah, I'm paired. You're not paired?
Yeah, I am.
Uh-oh. That's bad for me. Okay. I was hoping you had ace-king. All right. Put a 7 out there and then a straight.
The flop, 4 queen deuce.
That's a good flop for Doyle.
Ace on the turn.
I just like to double Doyle up. That's what I do. Gets short, I feel bad.
It's a 9.
One for the good guys.
Hey, Doyle, what you always say is always feel good to what?
To win the first one.
Oh, man.
That's the one.
There it is in the door. You got a diamond draw.
Do we?
It's always exciting. I knew I was going to hit at least 1-7.
No diamonds here.
No diamonds? There's like no way.
No, there's no
diamonds
diamonds here, I'm saying.
Diamond or jack's gonna count. It's got to be a diamond for sure. Diamond.
It's not a diamond. It's a 5 of spades.
5 of diamonds.
I took one of them away.
It's more than 22% because there's 5 dead cards right here.
Thanks, Phil. There you go.
There it
Boom,
is.
boom. Nice hand.
Now let's see how Negreanu pushes his luck to the limit on the very next hand.
All in. Call. All in? Huh? Call. Oh, we got one. I'm happy with my hand. I had suited. I had a king. A lot going on there. You move in, I call this time anyway. I was just saying, screw it. Okay. We need a hat.
At least one heart on the flop would be good for Daniel.
George needs the best hand to hold up to survive. The flop has a 5 and a 10 on it.
Oh, we got pairs. He's got pairs. We all got pairs. We all got 3 hearts, 3 diamonds. Pretty close race. 50-50.
Not sure the math there works, but you gotta believe it first, and Daniel really believes it.
The turn card is the 3 of diamonds.
That didn't help me at all. Quite the opposite, frankly.
5 of spades!
Oh!
Daniel wins!
That was lucky.
I just wanted clear that I clearly outplayed you in our all-in pots. Obviously.
Kid Poker is in the final.
All right. Sorry, bro. That was ugly.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 10-7 offsuit, but Seaver has raised to $1,300 with pocket 5s, and Hashem has called with Jack 10 suited.
Uh-oh, this is Daniel's favorite hand, and it's actually gotten him into trouble in the big game before.
Re-raises on the button to 5,200.
He knows Seaver's range is wide and Hashem's flat is vulnerable. Even though it's his favorite hand, he's trying to play the players, not the cards. This raise is about letting them know that he's going to give them a hard time this hand if they decide to play along.
Scott Seaver is really hoping Daniel has an overpair so that he has the right implied odds to make this call.
Hashem folded, so heads up to the flop. King, deuce, queen. Seaver checks the best hand.
Negreanu knows Seaver could easily have king-queen here after raising and then calling Daniel's re-raise pre-flop. But why would he check? Daniel smells weakness, and that's usually when he gets curious.
He reps, betting 6,200.
Looks like Scott's gonna peel.
He calls.
Hashem wants his cards back.
6 of spades on the turn. Seaver checks.
Daniel still got just 10 high. This is one of the dangers of having a favorite hand.
Daniel does not look like he's about to check. After just calling the flop and checking the turn, Negreanu is probably putting Seaver on a draw or the weak pocket pair he does indeed have. He's thinking, if I apply the right pressure now, Seaver might just fold and give me all the money.
Daniel does fire that third barrel, making it 14,200 to go.
I could justify Scott's call on the flop, thinking maybe Daniel would shut down after one bet, but Daniel certainly hasn't shut down.
Seaver keeps it going. He calls.
Seaver's totally stationing Negreanu.
You mean like a calling station?
Exactly.
4 clubs on the river. Seaver checks.
Sick.
Daniel fires 36,000.
Seaver is capped, checked every street, and never repped strength. Daniel has nothing, but he knows Seaver is weak enough to fold. This is a masterclass.
Folds the winner.
Phew-wee. You had me staring. I had my favorite hand. You know what that is?
10-7?
7 of diamonds and 10 of clubs specifically. Can't believe I got away with a bluff.
Negreanu is looking down on pocket deuces. Luca opens to 30K with pocket nines, a bread-and-butter early raise that covers a wide band of low and middling boards and pressures the offsuit broadways behind him. The hand wants callers who show up with overcards and then miss. It also doesn't mind playing smaller pots where it can value bet cleanly across safe runouts. Negreanu flat calls with pocket deuces. Small pairs love this configuration. He has position to control price. Stacks are deep enough to realize implied odds, and keeping it single raise preserves all the set and wheel runouts that print against one pair. Turning deuces into a 3-bet would just funnel Luca into strong overpairs and invite a 4-bet. Calling keeps the deck wide and the story flexible. The flop comes low and connected, exactly the texture where the caller can credibly have all the sets and the occasional 4-2 or 6-5. Luca makes the routine range C-bet for 28K. On this board, the small size folds out pure air, taxes random overcards like ace-queen, and keeps worse-made hands honest without bloating the pot or polarizing his range. Negreanu's raised to 95K. From this configuration is perfectly believable. He's repping sets, 2-pair like 6-5 suited, and some straights. With deuces, he isn't spinning it. He holds a live gutter to the wheel plus 2 cleanouts to a set, so he's applying pressure with real equity while seizing the narrative. The sizing forces overpairs and top pairs to define themselves now, rather than getting a cheap turn that could punish them. Luca's call protects his overpairs and some slow plays, but it also hands tempo to Negreanu and nudges Luca toward a bluff-catch posture on a lot of turns. He's inviting Negreanu to keep telling the story and hoping to catch him on a bad card. The turn pairs the 3 and Luca checks. It's a tricky card for both players. It slightly trims the number of set combos. Negreanu repped on the flop, while making overpairs feel a touch safer against bluffs and draws. Negreanu checks back. That's the disciplined pivot. Firing again would polarize on a card that dulls his set story and invites stubborn calls from exactly the hands he wants to move on the river. The river is the 8 of clubs, and Luca checks a 3rd time. After flop pressure and turn control, that 3rd check leaves his range heavy on single pair hands that hate facing a big ask.
Daniel bets ridiculously big, 400K.
Wow.
And Luca folds.
That was not the bet he was trying to induce. Daniel's reputation earns him a win there. Bluffs like that from him are few and far between.
Jennifer Tilly is looking down on 8-6 suited. Negreanu opens with ace-2 offsuit. That is a light but purposeful steal, using the ace as a blocker to reduce the chance he runs into a premium and leaning on position to realize whatever equity shows up later. Tilly answers with a re-raise. That choice is great against a suspected wide open because suited connectors play cleanly post-flop, deny cheap realization to the opener, and set her up to attack a player who loves to take flops.
It's a little too small, Jen. Phil Locke is going to be upset with you after that raise size because it's too small.
Last time I took advice from you, I lost the tournament.
Sorry.
Negreanu calls rather than 4-betting. He keeps her range wide, carries the positional advantage into a pot that is not yet bloated, and quietly pockets the option to turn later cards into leverage, even when he misses.
Okay, now I'm going to do the dunk bet.
It's not a donk bet because you were the pre-flop raiser.
Oh, okay, it's not a dunk bet.
It's a continuation bet.
A continuation bet.
Tilly follows through for a small C-bet. The sizing stresses floats and gut shots and keeps her range comfortably uncapped.
A lot of bad cards can come off, and then I can just bluff raise the turn or something stupid like that.
You could.
Turn a pair into a bluff. I'm really good at that. It's one of my big things Bill Reynolds taught me.
Negreanu does not have value, but he does have a plan. He calls to float, buying one more card and preserving the initiative advantage that comes from acting last. If she slows on the turn, he gets to tell the next chapter. If she barrels big, he can release cheaply and move on. The texture inches toward the middling wheelish territory that favors the caller. Tilly checks. That single check compresses her range away from very strong overpairs and toward 1-pair hands and draws that prefer pot control. Negreanu seizes the mic with a bet. The number is not huge, but the message is loud. He denies a free card to overcards, pressures hands like ace-queen and king-jack that c-bet once, and begins building a story that can arrive at straights and two-pair by the river. His literal hand did not improve, however his distribution did, because the cards he credibly represent improved. Calling the flop to take it away on the turn is classic small ball pressure, and he executes it cleanly. This is the card that ties the room together, and the run-out connects squarely with the very suited connectors that defend 3-bet pots from the blinds. Tilly leads small. That type of sizing often functions as a blocker, a way to name a price with a hand that does not want to face a pot-sized bomb. To Negreanu, that looks like a door left slightly open. He chooses to kick it in and chips. The shove polarizes him to the straights and strong two-pair he has been representing since the turn.
We probably have the same hand. Oh, so sick. You have 9-jack, right?
Would that be the same hand as you have? Because if you did have that and you didn't call by now, it would be a little bizarre.
You're in Jennifer Tilly's seat. You have the straight. Negreanu shoves over your small lead. What's your move, snap call, or an impossible fold? And why in one sentence? Best clear answer gets pinned.
Oh, God.
Oh, you have a 6? You raised me with a 6 out of position?
No.
That's crazy talk.
Tilly folds.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on ace-9 offsuit. Negreanu clocks the dynamic immediately. Wiggins is the table's loose cannon, splashing around, loving post-flop control, and hating big, uncomfortable decisions. Negreanu's plan is simple. Lean on that psychology and the betting patterns it produces. Pre-flop, Negreanu opens to $1,600 with ace-9 offsuit, a hand that prints against wide callers and keeps his range uncapped. Lack and Tony G both flat, inviting the very scenario Negreanu wants. A multi-way pot where discipline and range construction matter more than raw cards. Wiggins completes from the big blind with king-queen, already signaling he'd rather see streets than narrow ranges.
Tony G checks.
I'm gonna bet 5,000.
Wiggins does what loose cannons do, fires $5,000 to protect and find out where he is. Negreanu only calls. That flat does 3 things at once. It keeps Lack in a dominated, second-best world. If he sticks around, it conceals bluffs and value under the same hood, and it sets a trap for the sizing tells Wiggins tends to give on later streets. Lack gets out of the way, and we go heads up. The turn is the 5 of clubs.
I respect you as equal as I respect Doyle, man. But you're not slacking up on me at all. You really gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you making sure I wear my stripes on this table.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A total brick for the main draws. Watch the bet sizing. Wiggins downgrades to a $2,500 blocker. That's the cap Negreanu was waiting for. Into $17,400. A tiny stab screams one-pair pot control, not a hand eager to face heat. Negreanu raises to $12,500.
You beat me in the pot right there.
So,
He's leveraging position, fold equity, and his ace blocker. He makes it harder for the loose cannon to have the very hands that could comfortably 3-bet. The call, not a re-raise, confirms the cap. The river pairs the jack with the jack of hearts, killing some 2-pair combos and leaving most draws bricked. Wiggins checks, and Negreanu goes for the throat with $35,000.
oh man, you really try to pull the trigger there, didn't you, man? Caught the jack, didn't you? Caught the jack. You had it the whole time, didn't you?
No comment.
Too late, you already nodded your head yes. I
Say
fold.
what?
I fold. You nodded your head yes, real quick. Or what? Too fast for me.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Queen 3 offsuit. He opens to $4,000 after folds.
I like this.
That raise comes from a range that includes most suited queens and bluffs that keep him wide versus 2 sticky callers. Kenny's flat call is very playable if he expects the opener to fire too often and the blinds to continue light. Solomon closes the action. This paired low board heavily favors the pre-flop raisers c-bet strategy. Negreanu owns the overpairs and all the hands that can bet small. Kenny's check call range is condensed, ace high, mid pairs, and some slow-played overpairs. Negreanu's bet is the modern range-wide stab. It denies equity from 2 overcards and keeps his value and bluff buckets indistinguishable. Kenny calls. which already caps him away from many check-raise value hands. Texture changes a little. 7-6 and 6-3 improved to straights, and Solomon's backdoor 8x would have picked up top pair, but he's gone. For the two players left, Negreanu still retains a nut advantage portfolio of overpairs, plus the occasional 5x suited. His bluffs pick up backdoors only rarely, so he leans on fold equity. 16,000 pressures, exactly what Kenny showed on the flop, ace high and pocket pairs under 10s. Kenny's call again narrows him to ace-queen and ace-king high, pocket 6s through 9s, and a few traps. Crucially, he almost never has trips or a turned 8 that wants to raise, so his range remains capped. When Kenny checks a third time, his range is now mostly ace-high and middling pairs, hoping to get to showdown. He has very few slow-played monsters after declining to raise earlier streets on such a safe runout. Negreanu fires a polarized overbet adjacent sizing. What does he represent? Overpairs that bet all three streets and the thin value of a 5x that never feared a raise. What does he target? Exactly ace-queen, ace-king, and pocket 7s through 9s.
Kenny folds.
That's one of those, right, Phil?
That was fun to watch.
Let's see it then. You want to see it? You don't want to see it. It'll tilt you, for sure.
Let's see.
I want to see it then. You guys really want to see? Make the game better? All right, show one for the boy.
Huggins is looking down at pocket queens. Pre-flop showcases the classic amateur aggression dynamic that makes poker so entertaining.
Some big pots in your future?
Yeah, I'll let you know, yeah.
Gotta start soon. What do we have, like 24 more hands?
I'm playing a lot
24
of,
more hands.
About 20-something.
I've come in a lot of these hands, and
No, I know, you gotta get, yeah.
I'm not sure, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're doing fine, I'm just...
I think you should just book a small loss, because it'll look good. Well, give me a chance to get in the pot, and
Nick Cassavetes, fresh off directing hits in Hollywood, opens with the standard raise. Vanessa Selbst calls with the suited connectors, hoping for a miracle flop. However, the action explodes when the loose cannon Huggins wakes up with pocket queens in position.
tell me when to go.
Just go when the flop would be good for your cards. Go when the flop would match your cards. That's my advice.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome advice.
Feeling okay?
Yeah, that hurt.
It's a little warm.
He 3-bets to 5,600. This is the dream scenario for Cassavetes.
Pot.
That's my man. That's my man, Jared.
He holds a monster, and someone is building the pot for him. Cassavetes doesn't slow play. He puts in a cold 4-bet to 18,800.
I bet the pot.
There it is, repot.
Goodbye, Vanessa.
It's a winning
Yum,
hand.
yum.
Hold on, how much?
18-8.
This is where the skill gap usually reveals itself. Facing a cold 4-bet from an early position opener, pocket queens is often a fold or a flat call to set mine. The 4-better's range is almost exclusively aces or kings. However, Huggins refuses to believe he is beat. He 5-bets to 58,400.
All in.
All in.
All in.
Jared has called all in, and he is in terrible shape.
Run it twice, please.
2 times, let's go.
2 times is good. All right, let's go. Good luck. Good luck to you, sir. Seriously, good luck.
Everyone's rooting for a queen out there at home. We're rooting for a queen. There's millions of people right now saying queen.
As long as it's not queen and queen, I'm okay with it.
That would be pretty silty.
Yeah, sometimes
Queenie?
it happens. Hey, don't you dare call her. Take it back.
I take it back.
Come on, queen, one time.
You're a gentleman. Either way, it works out. Congratulations.
It's one of my first good hands I've had all day.
Me too. And I have to pick it up against you. What are you gonna do? Queen.
8, King 10, Cassavetes with a set.
No, now put a queen now.
Turn 1, 8 of diamonds, and that'll do it.
Nice hand.
Always good to win the first one. Come on, spike a queen. At least now you have a shot you wouldn't have had.
Jared's got one more shot, and there's only 1 king left in the deck, which is helpful should Jared actually hit his queen.
Spike a queen for this gentleman.
Flop number 2.
Come on, big boy. You're in there still.
Turn 5 of diamonds.
How about a 6?
Chop?
6 chops it.
6,
How about a 6?
give him a little bit back.
You had a 6 too?
I had a 6.
She had a 6.
Yeah, so we got 3 6s.
Put a little 6 up there.
3 6s, 2 queens. No matter what happens, obviously nothing you can do with that hand. Yeah, totally. You're going to go broke with that hand. I mean, are you kidding? It's the last round. The hand played itself is pretty unlucky. Good luck. Spike a queen.
Boom. 4 of diamonds, and Jared Huggins is busted.
Oh, good hand.
Good hand. I'm sorry. I really am. I am. You played really well today.
Thank you. It's nice playing with you, sir.
Yeah, you too. Great to meet you guys.
Greenstein is looking down at 7-5 suited. Pre-flop begins with a move that completely contradicts the public image of Barry Greenstein.
There goes your reputation.
Known as the Robin Hood of poker for his charitable image, Barry decides to exploit that reputation violently. He opens to 1,500 with 7-5 suited, a speculative hand at best. Vanessa Selbst, the aggressive superstar, wakes up with pocket jacks and puts in a standard 3-bet to 5,200. She is looking to isolate the old-school pro. This is where Barry shifts gears. Instead of folding his trash hand, he executes a cold 4-bet to 15,500. He is telling a very specific story. I am a tight player. I am 4-betting out of position. Therefore, I have aces or kings.
I love wizard versus wizard battles. You know?
Wizards.
Vanessa, holding a strong but vulnerable pair, respects the story enough not to shove, but she is too strong to fold. She calls, setting the stage for a massive pot where the aggressor is holding 7 high. The flop falls, a disaster scenario for Barry and a dream for Vanessa. Selbst has flopped top set of jacks. She has the deck crushed. However, Barry is committed to his narrative. He cannot check now, or his pre-flop aggression looks suspicious. He fires a continuation bet of 15,500, continuing to represent pocket aces. Vanessa makes the disciplined, trap-setting call. She knows that if she raises now, she folds out all of Barry's bluffs. By calling, she allows him to continue firing money into a pot he has almost 0% chance of winning. The turn brings the queen, a card that makes the board slightly more coordinated but keeps Vanessa's set well ahead. Barry, feeling pot committed and perhaps believing he can still fold out a hand like ace-king or tens, fires a second barrel of 30,000. This is the breaking point. Vanessa decides the trapping is over.
I'm all in.
And Greenstein folds.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket aces. Pre-flop begins with a clash of titans that escalates from a standard open into a catastrophic leveling war. Joe Hashem, a world champion who knows how to navigate these streets, looks down at pocket tens. It is a strong hand.
Gee, none of us have been all in.
Nope.
Is that right?
Just the cannon.
Tens for Hashem.
I just only made it 1,200. Wow.
But vulnerable, so he opens the pot to 3,100 to define his range and thin the field. The action folds to Negreanu in position, and he wakes up with the absolute nuts, pocket aces. Negreanu enters small ball mode, but knows he needs to build the pot now. He puts in a standard 3-bet to 10,000. At this point, the alarm bells should be ringing for Joe, but the dynamic between these two legends complicates the simple math. When the action returns to Hashem, he faces a critical decision point. A flat call here would be the prudent play, keeping Negreanu's range wide and allowing Joe to reevaluate on the flop. Instead,
Raise.
Hashem decides to assert dominance. He 4-bets to 31,000. This is a massive deviation that turns his hand into a bluff. He is trying to represent a monster like kings or aces to force Negreanu off a hand like ace-king or pocket jacks. However, against a player like Negreanu who is capable of trapping, this aggression merely isolates Hashem against the top of the deck. Negreanu does not hesitate. He doesn't slow play or get cute. He reaches for chips and 5 bets to 91,000, effectively putting Hashem all in. This bet is the nail in the coffin. It collapses Hashem's fold equity to 0. Joe, now realizing he has painted himself into a corner, has priced himself in.
Kind of glad it's not a quick all-in. Right?
Yeah, that's good news.
I'm all in.
Joe shoves. Daniel calls.
You got aces? Yeah, I got tens. Twice is good.
Yeah, twice is good.
I couldn't fold it.
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't fold it.
The first flop.
Boom.
A 10.
Like that one.
Good thing I ran it twice.
Save the 4th 10 for the second board, please.
The turn, 6 of diamonds.
Give him another 10 if you're going to do anything. Okay? Seriously.
She's going to do something.
If you don't give me an ace, just give him a 10. I can't handle losing these twice. It'll hurt really bad. That'll bother me.
The river, 6 of hearts.
All right, thank you.
That's
wait, there's one
oh,
more.
We're running it twice?
Yes.
The second flop.
Ooh,
I thought that was a 10. I don't know why.
Clubs, and there's backdoor everything
It's
here.
not fair if I bet you this hand, seriously.
The turn.
Ooh!
Big time sweat.
I mean, that's
Oh, God.
a decent-sized sweat as well.
That's a pretty good sweat.
I don't know if anyone else goes through this.
Daniel holds.
Oh. I got aces. I'm so happy to not go broke.
There's the 9 of clubs. There's the 9 of clubs.
Come on.
Daniel losing both of those is good for the game.
Yeah, great for the game.
One more card. Come on. Look at one more card.
Thank you.
Never been so excited about getting half my money with aces against 10s.
Negreanu is looking down on Jack 10 suited. Lichtenberger opens the hijack and both stacks behind are deep, so the pre-flop incentives matter. With aces, raising to 45K keeps in dominated broadways and pairs while leaving room to play streets post-flop instead of taking a huge 4-bet pot this close to the business end of a major event. Negreanu flats the cutoff with Jack 10 suited. Against a competent hijack opener and a sticky big blind, that hand prints by realizing equity rather than trying to 3-bet. If he 3-bets, he invites a 4-bet from value, folds out the weaker stuff he dominates, and risks playing a bloated pot with a hand that prefers multi-way, position, and disguised equity. D bleeds into 2 players. With top pair and a backdoor club, he denies overcards a free look and sets the price on a texture that can change quickly. Lichtenberger just calls with aces. That's deliberate, raising polarizes him on a wet board and risks pushing out Negreanu's dominated continues. With the ace of clubs, he blocks the nut flush, so he doesn't fear as many bad turns and can keep ranges wide. Negreanu's call with Jack 10 is standard. He has the clean open-ender to the nuts, excellent position, and 2 opponents who will pay him off if he hits. Turning this into a raise would fold out worse and isolate against the top of range. The 7 of clubs hits, and Negreanu picks up the straight at the same time the front door flush completes. Lichtenberger checks as well, which keeps his range disguised and preserves the option to spring a check raise. With aces that include the ace of clubs, he can induce a bet, choose between calling and jamming, and if he is behind, he carries 9 outs to the nuts. Negreanu fires 295K to tax everything at once. The bet extracts from 2 pairs and sets that fear a 4th club, charges single club over pairs that refuse to fold, and denies a cheap river to ace of clubs holdings that would love a free card. The sizing is intentional because it sets up a straightforward stack-off versus a check raise, and avoids giving a volatile river the chance to undo his equity lead.
Feeling comfortable right now. See? You can tell by my energy. Relaxed. What does that usually mean? Huh? What? Dang! As soon as I start yapping, he goes in. Oh, man.
Imagine that you are so good with the mind games that you can induce an all-in shove with just some yapping.
It's tough decision. I'm gonna need a minute.
While we wait for Negreanu to make his decision, please give this video a like. Thank you.
Because you check the turn. I guess you do that with the ace-high flush, right? Well, you have to have it. I don't think I can fold, though. Nice hand, bro.
This part here was inaudible, but you can clearly see that he is saying deuce of hearts a few times.
Called the deuce of hearts. Were you hearing me saying deuce of hearts?
Phil Ivey is looking down on 5 deuce suited. Pre-flop, this is a classic clash of ranges rather than hands. Sands opens from early position with ace-5 of hearts, a hand that plays beautifully deep. It cracks big aces, flops disguised 2-pair, and has wheel potential. Ivey defends the big blind with 5-2 of clubs, which looks like garbage, but actually has some sneaky properties here. Getting a good price, he is happy to come along wide and try to make something strange on a board that is supposed to smash the razor. The flop comes Dreamland for Sands and a very awkward heaven for Ivey. Sands has top and bottom pair on a semi-wet texture, the exact sort of board his early position range is supposed to own. Ivey, meanwhile, connects harder than he deserves. Middle pair plus a wheel draw. When Ivey checks and Sands fires 64,000, it is a completely standard value bet. He wants calls from ace-x, pocket pairs, and all the diamond draws. Ivey's call is where the hand starts to get interesting. He is never loving life against an EPC bet on this board, but he has real equity, decent implied odds if a 4 peels, and a range that is supposed to defend some middling pairs and draws. The turn brings the 6 of clubs, which quietly changes a lot. The obvious draws all brick, but Ivey now picks up extra equity and board leverage. His 5-2 becomes a pair plus open-ender on a runout that is getting very hard for Sands to read cleanly in real time. When Ivey checks again and Sands bets 177,000, Sands is still telling a simple story. I had a big hand on the flop, and I still do. He wants to keep extracting from worse aces, stubborn fives, and the various draws that refuse to fold. From Ivy's seat, though, this second barrel is the signal that it is now or never. If he just calls again, he is going to face a brutal river decision on a pot that is already bloated. Instead, he turns his hand into a pressure tool and rips in a massive check raise to 527,000. That raise is doing two things at once. First, it leverages Ivy's range advantage on this texture. From Sands' perspective, the big blind can absolutely have sets, weird two pairs like 6-5 or even 4-2 for the pure nuts. Second, it maximizes the value of Ivy's equity when called. He is not bluffing with air. If Sands stands his ground, Ivy still has a real shot to improve.
All in.
Guess you could have that, maybe. And I'm not in that bad a shape. If you no way you have that. This is so. This one's funny. This one is funny.
Phil Ivy's been spending too much time with Daniel Negreanu.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll call.
Ivy's gonna go for it.
Gulp.
Fives and deuces no good. He needs a club or a 4 on the river.
So stupid I am.
Now he's been spending too much time with Yoda. Ivy does have 12 outs, which means he's going to hit a little more than 1 out of every 4 times.
It's a 6 on the river. We lose Phil Ivy.
Yeah, Phil. Thanks.
Bill Perkins is looking down at Queen 8 offsuit.
You can't let him hit the 2-outers.
I don't think you know how to beat this game.
If he had 2 9s and he just shoved there, and he just put in like 80,000, you think that's good poker because he won?
No,
is that good poker because he won? Or?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he made the move on the right moment and in the right spot. You know what I mean?
Okay. So,
because,
so he's playing really good poker.
Scared.
So he's like a great player now, huh? What are you saying? I want to hear you say it.
You don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm saying.
Tell me. He's a great player, right? This guy?
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Pre-flop sets the stage for a classic collision between a fearless professional and a wealthy amateur who refuses to back down.
It was great poker. I folded. He got me off a pair.
Dario Minieri, the aggressive Italian pro known for his hyper-loose style, opens the pot to 1,100 with ace-queen suited. It is a standard open, but the action gets interesting immediately. The flop falls a texture that spells disaster for the amateur. Both Minieri and Perkins flop top pair, but the difference in kickers is catastrophic.
He's up like 100 again or something. the young Shalom monk.
It's awesome.
Minieri starts with a continuation bet of 2,100. Elke, holding 2 overcards and a gut shot straight draw, makes a sticky call, refusing to give up just yet. Then, Perkins decides to take control. Misreading the strength of his hand and likely putting the pros on draws or weaker pairs, he raises to 10,000. This is a massive overplay. By raising top pair with a weak kicker in a multi-way pot, Perkins effectively isolates himself against hands that crush him. He folds out the worse hands and keeps in the better ones. Minieri, realizing he has the amateur dominated, makes the disciplined call. He doesn't need to re-raise yet. He wants to keep Perkins on the hook. Elke, realizing he is sandwiched between a raiser and a caller, wisely gets out of the way. Minieri checks the turn. A brilliant tactical move. He feigns weakness and invites Perkins to fire again. And Perkins does take the bait. He bets 15,000, fully convinced that his queen is the best hand. He is value owning himself betting for value when he is actually behind.
56.1 more.
Minieri moves all in for 70,600.
Minieri springs the trap. He shoves all in for a total of 70,600. This is the moment of truth. Perkins has bloated the pot with a marginal hand and is now facing a shove that represents extreme strength.
You must have me beat. I'm just gonna look at my pocket for a second. This doesn't go on the table. Let's see what I got left.
Tell me what you have and look at my face. I bet you don't. Come on, I can't get an edge on that because I'm already made my bet. I did already my bet.
Are you gonna show your hand?
I can't answer this now.
Amanda.
I can't answer this now.
Can she make you show your hand?
I don't want him to show his hand.
Oh, come on, guys. Amanda, you got that one right. That was a good answer, because the hand's not really over.
Just for agony's sake, I think your hand's worth $56,000. I want to see your hand.
He calls.
Ace queen.
You got it.
What do you have?
Queen 8.
How many times you want to run?
3.
Okay.
River number 1, 5.
5.
He didn't have any eights. I gotta give you good news.
River number 2, tray of spades.
Oh, good talking, Dario.
Shot for an 8. For my friend, 1 time for Texas, an 8 for Texas.
This game's sick.
Texas, you
River number 3 goes to Dario.
Take it.
Ship full cargo to the Italian.
They ship 80,000 with 1 pair at this table.
All right, let's rebuy.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at Queen Jack offsuit.
I was thinking of raising, but...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pre-flop begins with a straddle from Joe Hashem. Negreanu, sitting in position, decides to attack. He raises to 2,500. It is a loose open, but Negreanu relies on his post-flop edge. The table, however, is not in a folding mood. Jennifer Tilly calls with King 7, and Nacho Barbero comes along with King 9.
And I call off like a donkey. I spread off for the last section.
And I tried it again.
Should have left.
The flop is an absolute monster for Negreanu. He has flop trip queens, giving him a massive lock on the hand. The action checks around to Negreanu, who fires a standard value bet of 6,200. Tilly and Barbero, missing completely, get out of the way. Hashem, however, decides to get stubborn. Holding just ace high and a backdoor flush draw, he makes the call. It is a float. Hashem likely puts Negreanu on a continuation bet with a pocket pair or total air, and he believes his ace might actually be the best hand, or that he can take the pot away later. The turn brings the 8, double pairing the board. This improves Negreanu to a full house, but it also counterfeits any small pocket pair Negreanu might be bluffing with.
12. 12,000.
His ace high is actually ahead of any pure bluff, and he beats any pocket pair below 8s that Negreanu might be turning into a bluff. Convinced that Negreanu is trying to push him off a chop or steal the pot, Hashem makes a very sticky call. He is now purely bluff catching, unknowingly drawing dead to a full house. The river is the ace, a card that is cruel in its deception. It gives Hashem top pair. In most scenarios, improving to top pair on the river is a green light to call a bet.
As we young internet kids say, you're polarized.
Ding.
Isn't that right, Jose?
Yeah.
It's polarized,
It's
right?
polarized.
You haven't merged. You haven't fuffled. You're just polarized.
There's a bit of a fuffle in there.
Show me one.
Little generosity on the last hand.
Okay.
Daniel shows the jack.
I fold.
Why? Because I showed the jack? Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it's a scary card.
Bad card to show. Oops. I'm kidding. I don't want to show the jack anymore. You had an 8? Oh, you had an ace. Oh, okay. The jack was a scary card? I thought jack 10, you know?
You could have jack 8, jack
I'm stupid.
Queen Jack.
Well, obviously, duh. I'm so annoyed because I had jack high.
Save myself 22,000 through one question.
Good hand.
okay.
Oh, man, you talked me out of my money there.
Jennifer Tilly is looking down at pocket aces.
Did you look at your cards?
Yes, I am qualified.
I bet you are.
Pre-flop begins with a double straddle. Tony G decides to attack the money. He raises to 5,000. It is a standard aggression play from the Loudmouth Pro, expecting to pick up the blinds and straddles. However, Jennifer Tilly, sitting in the double straddle, wakes up with the pre-flop nuts. She doesn't slow play. She 3-bets to 15,000. This is a pivotal moment. A tighter player might fold ace-jack here, fearing domination, but Tony G's ego and the deeper stack depths convince him to stick around. The flop falls all spades. This monotone board changes the math entirely. Tony G has flopped middle pair with his jack, but he holds no spades, meaning he is drawing very thin if he is behind. Tilly, however, holds the ace of spades along with her overpair. She fires a continuation bet of 25,000. Tony G, ever the non-believer, convinces himself that Tilly might be semi-bluffing with a hand like ace-king holding a spade.
Big pot. Huge.
The turn brings the 8. Here, Tilly decides to exercise pot control. She checks. This is a savvy move. By checking, she conceals the strength of her hand. She knows that if she bets again, she might only get called by a flush or 2 pair. The river is the 3. Now, Tilly repeats the bet sizing from the flop. This is a classic value inducement bet. It is small enough that it looks like a defensive blocking bet or a weak attempt to steal the pot.
Wow. Wow, aces with the spade. Very nice, Jen.
You had me drawing dead.
Really?
Insane. Wow.
It's getting fun, isn't it?
Double straddle and picks up aces, huh?
I know, right?
How beautiful is that?
The first double straddle is aces. Guess that's a sign.
That's my first aces, too.
Well, you deserve it.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at Jack 9 offsuit.
Freak. What a freak.
He's a gift from nature. Wow, you know what? I'm glad that I've changed your opinion because I don't really ever want to be known as a normal guy.
Pre-flop begins with a dynamic that always promises action. Negreanu has placed a straddle, effectively buying the big blind and doubling the stakes before the cards are even dealt. This forces the table to play for a bloated pot and creates aggressive incentives. Randy Liu, the online volume king, looks down at ace-3 suited. This is a hand that thrives in deep-stacked, straddled pots because of its nut potential. Liu raises to 2,500, attacking the straddle aggressively.
What is that? What did you do? 25? 25. Well, your button VPIP is rather high as well.
I'm not Bryn.
I know, but you still play a lot of pots in that late little position, so I can call here profitably long term.
Yep.
Daniel makes the call.
If you were nitty, I would have folded this hand.
The flop falls a monotone miracle. For Negreanu, this is a tricky spot. He has flopped middle pair with his jack, giving him a piece of the board, and knowing him, he definitely wants to call.
Okay, this could be trouble for both of us. I'm already feeling a lot of pain. Check. Oh, so fast. You don't think. He's so good. Online, the same thing. 75 decisions in 3 seconds. How much?
35.
Well, I can't fold.
How many times do you misclick a day?
He doesn't misclick. He's
Never?
Genius.
Yeah.
Negreanu decides to peel one card. He figures that his pair of jacks might be good if Liu is bluffing, and he wants to see if the board pairs or if he can hit a straight.
Is that a misclick 35 or you got something?
Miss chip.
The turn brings the 7, and it is the 4th heart on the board. This card drastically changes the whole hand.
Well, now this kind of kills the action. There could have been a whole craziness. Now the heart's already there, so either you got one or you don't, right? I'm gonna defer.
9,000.
Okay. You're good. You bet like a medium heart here too. I know you. 9,000?
9,000.
Okay, you bet a lot of hands here. Good player you are. I like to bet 9. I don't have a heart, so I'll let you take it.
Thank you.
Good bluff. No, you didn't bluff. You had it.
Of course I had it.
Did something.
Of course I had 2 cards.
There you go. That's why you don't call out position, get outplayed by these whippersnappers, right?
Tough.
Lock. Check call, check.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket 10s. Pre-flop begins with a standard yet deceptive setup involving 3 very different playing styles. Negreanu, operating from position, opens the pot to 2,500, looking to thin the field. Phil Lack, holding ace-queen offsuit, finds himself in a spot where many aggressive pros would 3-bet to isolate the opener. However,
just calls.
He keeps Negreanu's range wide, but he also invites the 3rd player into the mix. Rick Salomon, never one to turn down a cheap flop with a suited connector, comes along with 6-3 suited. We head to the flop 3-way, with Negreanu holding a strong pair and Locke holding a hand that dominates the Broadway portion of Negreanu's range, but is currently just ace-high. The flop creates a massive disparity in equity. Negreanu has flopped bottom set, hitting his 10 to create a monster. The king on top is the perfect disguise. It connects heavily with Negreanu's perceived pre-flop raising range, allowing him to represent a top pair while actually holding a set. Salomon checks his air, and Negreanu fires a bet of 5,500. This is where Phil Lack makes a questionable decision that defines his sticky play style. He holds a gut-shot straight draw. Against a tight player, this is an easy fold. But against Negreanu, who is capable of continuation betting with pure air or a smaller pair like 8s or 9s, Locke convinces himself that his hand has showdown value. The turn brings the king, pairing the board. This is the magic card for Negreanu. He improves to a full house, 10s full of kings. He is now unbeatable.
fires 18.
Really, Danielson? 18, Danielson?
Too late to change my mind now.
It's true, you're kind of committed to that.
I'd show you a card, but they're both the same.
I'm afraid you have 2 10s. How can I call? I can't call. I fold.
I have 2 10s. I have 2 10s. What do you mean I'm afraid? How did you know that? You didn't have a king, obviously.
No, I didn't have a king.
I did have 2 10s. Well done. Where does that rank? Like, as far as my face, do you believe that I was telling the truth or lies? Because we're mixing that up now.
I thought you had 3 10s.
Yeah.
Tony G is looking down at Queen 10 offsuit. Pre-flop initiates a battle between the loudmouth professional, Tony G, and the loose cannon Hrankowski, an amateur given a stack of cash to play with the big boys. Hrankowski wakes up with a premium holding, ace-queen offsuit. He puts in a standard raise to 2,000, looking to assert dominance early. Tony G, sitting with Queen 10 offsuit, decides to defend.
Just to see if I can get it all in as well when you have quads.
Tony is in a perilous position.
I'll make it a big pot though.
The flop is an absolute powder keg. It is the kind of texture that hits everyone. Hrankowski has flopped top pair, top kicker with a gut shot straight draw to the nuts. A fantastic hand. However, Tony G has flopped top and bottom 2 pair. Standard poker theory dictates that Tony should check to the pre-flop raiser. Tony G, however, has never cared much for standard theory. He leads out with a donk bet for 5,000. By betting into the aggressor, he seizes control of the narrative immediately. The turn brings the 2. Tony G keeps his foot on the gas. He fires a second barrel of 10,000.
Wow. I like your hand. You want to swap hands?
He is extracting value, knowing that an amateur with top pair is rarely folding. For Tony G, this is the perfect card. He improves to a full house, 10s full of queens. For Hrankowski, it is a deceptive card.
I hope you don't have quads. I guess you don't. There's no straight flush out there.
Tony G decides to go for a massive value bet. He fires 35,000 into the pot.
There goes all the profit.
The loose cannon has to decide if Tony G is capable of firing 3 streets as a bluff, or if he is value owning himself with a worse queen. Hrankowski goes into the tank. He looks at the board. Straights are possible, king 9, trip 10s are possible, and full houses are possible. He realizes that Tony's line leading into the razor and betting big on 3 streets screams immense strength.
You have a good chance of winning the hand if you call.
He was begging at that point. That was begging. I wasn't sure. And then he begged at the river.
So Ken folds. Let's see if he made the right decision. Tony G with Queen 10 full boat.
Made a good lay down there, Ken.
I had a full house.
Yeah, you begged at the river. When he was about to fold, Tony, wait.
Did you flop it straight?
Bet too much.
No, you had ice queen.
Tom Dwan looks down at pocket 7s on the button. Peter 3-bets to $7,200 from the small blind with ace-5 suited, the classic light squeeze that leans on his perceived range advantage and punishes wide opens. It folds out a chunk of Dwan's air while still having blockers and playability when called. Against Dwan, though, that kind of hand rarely wins the pot uncontested. Dwan calls for solid reasons. Pocket 7s have real showdown value, don't fear most flops, and crucially can cooler top pair ranges by upgrading to sets on ace-high or 10-high textures. Flatting also preserves position and a healthy SPR, letting him navigate post-flop without bloating the pot pre. The flop comes ace-7-10. Peter fires $5,500 into the pot. From his seat, this board is his. The 3-better owns more strong ace-X, and C-betting denies equity from backdoor suits and gutters like king-queen or queen-jack. Dwan isn't buying. With middle set, he turns that auto C-bet into a lever, bumping it to $16,000. The raise does 3 things. It taxes all Broadway draws immediately. It announces that Peter won't get to set the pace for cheap, and it starts building a pot that can comfortably play for stacks by the river. Peter calls, consistent with top pair, decent kicker hands, some sticky queens and jacks with backdoors, and the occasional trap. He keeps his range wide enough to fight future streets while not clarifying where he's at. The turn is the queen, tightening ranges and connecting with Broadway draws. Peter now leads for $15,000, trying to seize the initiative back on a card that improves many of his semi-bluffs. This stab is less pure value and more about denying a free river to King Jack, Queen Jack, and Jack 9, while forcing Duan to declare strength or fold middling hands. The lead also subtly caps him. When the small blind block bets on this texture, he's less likely to hold sets that slow played the flop and more likely on one pair, ace-x or a queen, that picked up equity. Tom Dwan doesn't hesitate. He raises to $48,000, a size that polarizes his range and puts every draw in the vice. It punishes the block bet, prices out those 12 to 15 outer combos, and reclaims initiative so he dictates the river. Just as important, the raise calibrates the stacks. After this, the remaining SPR is low enough that any blank lets him jam cleanly, while even scary rivers have already been charged a premium.
Wow, all in. And a snap call. $262,000 pot. Peter is drawing dead. Tom makes a full house on the river.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on pocket aces. Pre-flop, this is the classic trap where one player thinks he is peeling light and instead steps right into a vice. Negreanu raises to $450,000. It is a chunky open, and that alone should already scream strength in this spot. George defends with Queen 10 suited. On paper, it is not insane. He has position, a hand that can flop top pair or strong draws, and he probably assumes Negreanu is opening wide. The flop comes 10-3 king with 2 clubs. From George's seat, this is the kind of board that looks playable but is silently dangerous. He has middle pair with queen kicker against a normal open that could be a standard continue, especially in position. Negreanu fires $400,000. That sizing is telling. It is not a tiny range bet. It is a big, old school, I have it continuation. With aces, he is not afraid of building a pot. The turn is the 7 of spades. Negreanu's strong hands are still strong. Kings, aces, ace-king, maybe king-queen all love this card. Very few of Negreanu's bluffs improve in a meaningful way. When Negreanu now moves all in, he is doing exactly what great players do with overpairs in these structures. Shove before the river kills action. He knows that if he just bets small and gets called, any club, queen, jack, or scary river freezes him and lets George realize all of his equity for cheap. By jamming turn into a pot that is already inflated, he puts tremendous pressure on all the middling hands that called flop.
He folds.
I had you beat. Good cards.
I'm happy with my fold.
Yeah.
It was hard though.
The pot was good. I'm like, I'll take it, but if you call, you call. You have to get there.
Did you have it pre-flop or you hit the king?
I had both. I had what you're supposed to have there. A pair of aces I had. Aces were good, right?
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on pocket eights.
9,000.
Well, that was clear.
Let's screw this up.
Pre-flop, this is Negreanu doing what Negreanu does. He looks down at pocket eights and does not overcomplicate it. He raises to 9,000, the classic, let's thin the field and play a pot in position or heads up. Dimjan on the button chooses the flat. That call is him saying, I want to see 3 cards against the pro and keep my range wide. The flop is one of those dream spots for Negreanu. He flops set on a board that absolutely slams his perceived range. When he continues for 16,000, the bet is doing a lot of work. It looks like a standard continuation bet with ace-king, king-queen, or even pure spade draws, so it keeps Jacobson's floats and Dimjan's entire Broadway region interested. This is where Negreanu turns the screws. He fires 45,000 into a pot that has already grown large, and that sizing is intentional. It says, I still like my story, and if you were floating me with 1 pair or a draw, the price just went up. From his seat, there is no reason to slow down. Worse kings will still call. Combo draws will convince themselves they are priced in, and any hand like queens or jacks is hating life, but may still pay.
Ace jack. Oh, sure, ain't nothing. I have 3 eights. I want you to go, ugh. All in.
The queen goes straight.
Daniel Negreanu is holding on Queen 10 suited. Pre-flop, this looks completely standard on the surface, but the seeds of the later pain are already there. Negreanu opens Queen 10 suited from early, the kind of hand he loves, connected, plays well, multi-way, and can make disguised big hands. Dimjan flatting in position keeps his entire range wide, medium pairs, suited broadways, suited connectors, some traps. Then the big blind comes along as well. What that means strategically is simple. By the time they see a flop, there are 3 ranges involved, and Negreanu is the only one who has really capped nothing. He is the pre-flop aggressor. He has all the big pairs. He has the strongest broadways. The flop comes down absolutely dreamlike for Negreanu. 10 Jack Queen. Top 2 pair, a board that slams his perceived range as the raiser. But it is also an insanely dangerous texture. Every random hand with an open-ender or a gut shot suddenly has a reason to stay. When Jacobson checks, Negreanu does exactly what you expect from someone who just smashed this board and knows he smashes it range-wise too. He bets 22,000. The sizing is important. It is not tiny stab sizing. It is a "this pot is about to get big" sizing. Dimjan just calls. That call is the first warning sign. He is not afraid of the story Negreanu is telling. The turn bricks off with the 3 of spades. From Negreanu's point of view, that is one of the safest cards in the deck. It does not complete any obvious draw. It does not pair the board. It does not change who is supposed to own this texture. So he does what good players do when nothing changes, and they already had a huge value hand. He keeps telling the same story and increases the pressure, betting 55,000. This is Negreanu effectively saying, if you were floating or gambling with some weak draw on the flop, this is your exit. If you continue now, you are representing something serious. The river brings the deuce of clubs, another nothing card in terms of raw texture. From Negreanu's seat, it is almost the perfect river. Straights are still the same straights, sets are still the same sets, and there are no obvious busted draws that suddenly got there. He still has top 2 pair on a board where he is supposed to have all the strong top-end value, so he fires again, 90,000 this time.
Raise. I had a feeling you were going to do that on the turn. You waited. It was smart. You got me to bet one more time.
Daniel loves calling like Miley Cyrus loves a big foam finger, but I don't think even he can figure out a way to talk himself into this one.
8-9 or something? Doesn't matter.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, ace king. 2 pair. Queen 10. Good hand.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket jacks.
Phil lock, and it messes with my... When I start with Phil, it's like, you can't even, it's like, you're there, it's micro magnesium, it's like...
Micro magnesium?
Crazy.
Speaking of magnesium,
speaking of magnesium.
If you have a strip of magnesium and you light it, it will go out very quickly because it super consumes nitrogen, but if you feed it a continuous stream of nitrogen, the magnesium actually stays lit.
Okay, we've got a raise and a re-raise.
Then you have a flare of, if you can keep feeding nitrogen into a tube, the flame will never go out as long as nitrogen keeps getting fed because magnesium burns through nitrogen, not oxygen.
What a story.
I just love the line, speaking of magnesium.
Speaking of magnesium.
Pre-flop, this is the classic strong versus speculative clash you get all the time in deep cash games. The flop is about as good as it gets for Negreanu. He smashes it with top set on a relatively dry board, while Vanessa has only ace-high with backdoor hearts and a few runner-runner straight possibilities. When she checks, Negreanu fires 4,500, a sizing that keeps his range wide and lets worse hands continue. Vanessa's call is a float plus equity. She is not beating much yet, but her hand can improve on a lot of turns. She picks up the nut flush draw, so now her ace-9 has real equity against all of Negreanu's value range. She checks again, and Negreanu keeps telling the story with a 9,200 barrel. From his perspective, he still wants calls from overpairs, and exactly the kind of strong draws Vanessa now has. Her second call is mandatory. She is getting a good price, has 15 outs against an overpair, and can potentially bluff rivers if checked to. The river bricks everything for her and quietly locks up the pot for Negreanu. When she checks a third time, Negreanu goes for full value with a 28,000 bet, polarizing his range to monsters and bluffs.
Really?
God, I really don't know what to do here. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Vanessa folds.
Hi, Sam.
I'm so curious what you had there.
I really didn't believe you.
Huh?
Nice
I'm
fold.
so curious
I
what
didn't
you
have
had.
very much. I didn't have very much.
Nice
Oh.
fold. 20 seconds though and shift it in.
Shipped it in.
Is that what? That's what I should have done. That would have been
Yeah,
the.
no, I'm serious.
It's gonna fold 3 jacks.
You never.
I will beat you up.